Welcome to the podcast that looks at truth, fiction, and reality with a smirk. I'm Aaron Peterson.
I'm Amanda Sink.
And I'm Zach Parkerson.
Welcome to Smirk. Each week, one of our hosts introduces an original story, which we then use as a springboard for a spirited and lighthearted discussion on whatever the moral or theme of the story is or was. This week, it's Zach's turn. What up, man? What are we going to talk about?
What up, what up?
What's kicking, dog? You know what I'm saying? Welcome to Cribs.
Oh my God, I forgot about Cribs.
People are instinctively unsubscribing.
MTV Cribs.
People like Cribs.
Is that the show where you just look at some rich rapper's house?
They take you through their whole house and it's wild. Why did we need it?
I thought it was so cool that Shaquille O'Neal had Superman bedding.
Really?
He had Superman bedding?
Yeah, man.
You're very you're like, duh, of course he had Superman bedding.
Yeah, are you stupid?
I don't know why, but I just assumed Shaquille O'Neal had Shaquille O'Neal bedding, where he just laid in a bed.
It was just his face?
It was like his own face, and he just rolled, like as Shazam or whatever the hell he was. What was he? Kazam?
No, it was Shazam. Yeah, he was a genie or whatever.
Yeah.
It was Kazam, actually.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Because it had Francis Capra in it, and I know this for a fact.
Well,
she was worked up about the Shaquille O'Neal information.
Apparently. But that's what I always picture. Like, he's just laying in a bed, and it's his own face on his own pillow. And it's his body, and he's laying, like, he matches his body like an outline, like a dead body in the outline. And he just perfectly lines up with it. That's what I picture.
Does he have to special order his beds?
I bet you he does.
Do you think he has a race car?
And his feet just dangle off the side.
It would be like from his knees down that would dangle off.
Just dangle.
I've heard that about him.
Oh, that's
weird.
weird.
Okay, so a story today, right?
No, I just want to. My story is Shaquille O'Neal's penis.
What?
Is it really a slam dunk?
Wait. We can't swear here. We can talk about slam dunks.
You can use what? You could use anatomy. I'm pretty sure.
That is a medical term.
I think that one's safe.
Why are people afraid of penis?
We're not afraid of penis.
No, people are definitely afraid of penis.
We're afraid of penis pictures.
No, I think people are afraid of the word penis.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
They instinctively retract.
Before impact.
Oh,
They
boy.
do. They recoil. Go ahead, rhyme that.
I don't have one off the top of my head.
Rhyme something with foil.
Before they get boils.
Ew.
Ew.
Hey, so it doesn't always go well.
Yeah, I do have a story this week, I guess, though.
I hope you use the word penis.
Good. No, please don't.
Well, funny you should say that. The name of my story is Penis.
I wonder where this is going.
Pen 15.
That'll help our SEO.
I like it.
Actually, if you do use Pen 15, it'll show up pretty on top because that's a TV show. So do
I'm not going
it.
to use Pen 15. That'd be ridiculous for adults, Amanda.
SEO, man.
Wait, you guys ready for a story?
I'm ready.
Amanda is not.
Oh, I just
All right.
assumed you took my silence to mean something because it doesn't happen very often.
Sure, or ever. Well, gather around the campfire. It's time for a story. Jack was despondent at the best of times. Little made him happy ever since he and his wife split up. Most days he just sat alone in the apartment, drinking away his sorrows while he played video games, content to merely exist. Day after day, he would toil away at the job he hated, worked alongside coworkers who were friendly enough, but not exactly the friends he needed. Meaningless conversations to pass the time was the best he could even hope for. Work, talk, drink, an endless cycle played on a constant repeat. One day he woke up still drunk from the night before. Normally he worked evenings, but someone asked him to cover his morning shift. He got a taxi and made it just in time, but everyone could tell Jack should not be working. In fact, his coworkers just made him sit in the back and eat a sandwich. He got through the workday, but it was a wake-up call. He needed something new in his life, a new vice, some other way to spend his time. Walking home, he passed by a used bookstore and decided to buy a satisfying read to try to pass some time. Unfortunately, not a single book caught his eye, until he got to their graphic novel section. Jack had obviously seen movies and TV shows. Superheroes are inescapable in American culture. He decided to take a chance on one and open the first pages. Within seconds, he was enamored. The bright colors and intricate paneling caught his eye, word balloons hanging in the air. Jack had found exactly what he needed, a whole new universe with endless possibilities.
Is this your life story?
Yeah, it feels like an autobiography.
Yeah.
It's hilarious that you say that.
This story is truth. I'm guessing it now.
Truth!
And his name is Zach Parkerson. Zachary.
Well, right in the top paragraph talks about splitting up with your wife. I have not split up with my wife. So
it's fan fiction.
Wow, fan fiction about us.
Yep.
That's how famous we are as Smirk. Fan fiction.
That's funny.
Well, what do you think the moral of the story is?
You never know when you're going to find something that will kick you out of a dark spot. Oh, that's a long thought.
Just like your penis. Amanda?
I'm
Thanks.
not going with penis.
We're still going to get flagged for this episode.
I don't know. Can you flag it for that? That's not explicit.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but I don't know what the rules are. Amanda, you gotta guess.
I'm thinking, I'm sorry, you can't see my face.
You're blessed.
Wow.
Hashtag blessed.
What Aaron already said, but I was trying to think of a different way to say it. But basically that in even the darkest times of your life, you can find something that brings you joy.
How about the power of stories?
Oh, yeah. There's nothing people love more than a good story.
I couldn't agree more.
Sometimes it'll make you king.
I would listen to a whole podcast that was nothing about stories, personally.
And discussion, of course.
Well, what's the point of interacting with a story if you're not going to talk about it?
Exactly.
Wow.
I wish more people were talking about this podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Share it with a friend. Like, subscribe, and review.
We appreciate all 8 of you that listen. And one of them, Stephen King, who's still waiting. We're still waiting for him to write in.
He's busy making sure every little napkin he wrote on becomes a movie or a TV show.
That's a callback to season 1 jokes, by the way. Stephen King writing in.
Still hasn't done it.
Yeah. Wait, I know he's listening. He's the only other guy watching the 100. So
there's a lot of women who watch it though.
Yeah, but he's the other. He and I are the 2 guys.
Because they thought it was The Bachelorette. Like, there's one lady and there's 100 guys. She's got to pick.
It's dark sci-fi. What a powerful story it is. Huh?
Speaking of story, what about your story? Are we going to talk about it or what?
Yeah, what's up? You know what? The first question, though, I just wanted to ask, did you guys read comics?
Yes.
It's a weird pause you had before you said that, Aaron. Yeah, yes.
Well, I think I've talked about it on the show. So, yeah, I've read a lot. I have boxes of them or had boxes of them. I don't know where, if I do anymore. But I read them as a kid to escape my life. My life sucked. So I read a lot of comic books. Yes, I read a lot of them.
I relate.
Right? I mean, and I never really liked the pure, easy go. Superman was one I really didn't get into. I didn't like the DC side. I was more of a Marvel guy.
You're out of your mind.
In terms of the comics, not in the movies. Movies, I actually prefer the DC side, which is weird because nobody else feels that way, apparently. But I really liked they were more conflicted. They had more issues, and DC was more about the gods.
The gods. Gods have issues, too.
Sure. Yeah, it's real tough to be super powerful, and everybody, worships you everywhere you go. That's so tough. It's like being an influencer.
I don't think they worship them wherever they go, but sure, they tend to have higher powers on DC. Well, that's all right. So, Amanda, do you read comics?
I've read a couple. But I'm not somebody who's read all of the superhero comics and knows all the details. I've thought about doing, because they have like an app subscription, because I wanted to go to the comic store, but I haven't had anybody that was willing to go with me to the comic store. This was actually a conversation piece today,
you
coincidentally.
Can't go to a comic store by yourself?
I could,
but
what
are you afraid is going to happen?
No, I'm not afraid of anything, but I'm just like, I don't know which comic to start with. Because I don't know, like, where
the one that says Spider-Man on the cover.
No, the one that says Green Lantern on the cover.
But there's multiple storylines, and I know that and I don't know where to start in the stories. You know what I mean?
Number 1.
Yeah, but can you always find number 1? Like, you're not going to be able to find them all in chronological order.
Marvel reboots their whole friggin' line to number 1 about every year. So, yeah, you could probably find a number 1 pretty easily.
Interesting. Well, I thought about doing the app because I'm like, well, then I'd have access to all of them and I could just, and that'd probably be cheaper too. But I have bought a couple of them. The ones that I have are actually horror. So I've actually done a lot of, I read a Buffy one when I was younger.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And then this one is actually from like some screenwriter on Twitter. I actually bought a couple of his horror ones. Read that.
How were they?
It's good.
Because you like pictures?
Well, no, but like it still does tell a story. That's the thing that's always kind of like pulled me away from it is I'd rather just read the story. Yeah, read a book. But I do like, I like that it's still on pages for me. So that still keeps me interested. And there is still some story. Also, I have a hard time sometimes following the bubbles because I'm like, they're not in reading order.
What? They're left to right, top to bottom.
But there's like multiple, and I'm like, well, which one comes before which? And I have to figure it out myself.
The one to the left or on top?
No, I don't.
You go from the left top, and then you go to the right.
I'm going to show you guys because I'm not crazy and I'm not stupid.
I mean, I understand how comic books are handled.
I know you're not stupid.
Thank you.
Well,
Zach?
I'm not convinced.
No, I left the other one open, but stupid, I'll give you.
Man. I read comics a lot. I go to the comic shop every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday? Do you always buy something or do you just read there?
Yeah. No. I buy new comics every week. Got boxes and boxes full, man.
What would you say to people? Because I've kind of morphed into where I read more books now than I do any comic. I might read a graphic novel every once in a while.
Am I about to have this conversation about books versus comics?
No, I want to ask you, like, what do you say to people? Because there are book readers, and I would call them snobbish, the ones that feel this way. But there are many readers that feel that comics are not actual literature and they don't count. And what would you say to somebody like to get them to sample a comic book? What's the appeal to a comic book versus a book?
Well, if I'm feeling angry, I'll just say, read Watchmen and tell me that's not freaking literature.
Okay.
But usually I'm just like, all comics do is they cut out the description paragraphs, like describing the room that they're in. You just cut through that nonsense. Like, so you just get straight to the dialogue and you don't have to hear about, and then he threw a right hook, but it was narrowly dodged. Instead, you just see it. And then
that's a faster way to read a book.
In a way, it's kind of like a combination of a screenplay and a movie coming to life, because your screenplay isn't going to have all of those descriptive words either that are like overwhelming, like a narrative novel would be. But you still have the dialogue that's happening, and then you have the visual pictures like a movie that gives you the background of what that is.
If you were to ever look at a comic script, like it is very much broken down, like, panel one, narrow strip. We see a clock ticking 11:53 or something. Like it's as descriptive as a book. You as the reader never have to see that because you're getting the art.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
So you're really, I see very little difference between prose and comics. Like people like to always assert one storytelling medium over the other. They're all just as viable.
Mm. You're saying, hey, PC, Xbox, PlayStation 4, they're all good, man. Just find what suits you and give it a whirl.
Yeah. I mean, Xbox, come on, put out some games. But why restrict yourself? Why not just enjoy everything?
I do like that I've lived long enough to where comic books are not just for geeks anymore. Because there was that stigma for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it certainly was when I was young as well.
I feel like that only went away like 10 years ago.
It really went away when the MCU was born. Yeah. I think Avengers was the turning point. The first Avengers, I think, was the turning point.
Yeah, I mean, like, how do you go to all those movies and make, like, everybody's going to see them and then make fun of a comic book? Look, hey, if we didn't like what we liked, you wouldn't get that thing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We just can read words.
Yeah. Comics are dope. Which is why I wanted to ask, what about the comic medium do you think has made it last for so long? Decades. They put out new stories every week for, 100 years?
I would say comics have lasted as long as they have because you have very similar to what you said. It's literature, but it's for people that don't want to spend, because a book takes forever. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because I really do think your senses get dulled and your mind gets a little less sharp when you don't read very often. But that doesn't mean it has to be a book. It's just a matter of, I feel like reading is very important. It keeps you focused. It keeps your intelligence up. It keeps you sharp. And comics are just a way to, like you said, it's the same difference. A lot of comics are very, very smart and very topical. They approach a lot of societal issues, which can be a great thing. And, some people don't want to imagine the world. They just kind of want to see the world. And in a comic, you can go anywhere, do anything. It's just like a book. It just has pictures. And art is amazing to watch. Like sometimes the art is just fantastic to see.
Yeah, I think creativity has really been able to expand as our societies become more progressive too, and it's an outlet for those creative minds who are very imaginative, and people are able to produce new original content that isn't similar to something that's been done before, because there's those creative minds that are now able to use comics as their resource to tell a story, but in a visual way. In a way that's not done in any other medium, because as much as it is similar to a book or it is similar to a movie, it's not comparable to either of those. It is very much so its own platform that can't be recrafted and modified in any capacity to where it wouldn't be a comic still.
And also, most importantly, when you're done with a comic book, unlike a book, which is, kind of bulky and hard to do anything with, a comic book, you can rip out the page and make a paper airplane with and throw that out.
Wow, my heart just sank. Why would you do that?
Unless you want to collect it. But you can make
of course you want to collect it.
There's like at least 200 paper airplanes you can make.
But also, that's somebody's hard work.
That I paid for, so I can make paper airplanes
I know,
out of it.
but it still feels like a little bit mean. Like,
Whoa,
put that in a little free library.
Sometimes I take a Blu-ray and I use it as a Frisbee.
What's wrong with you?
I don't think you do that.
No, I don't do that. But it sounds fun and I kind of want to do it now. I'm going to find some old DVDs.
Just go find your copy of, Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Buy Alien Covenant and then just do it with that.
I am not giving them money.
They'll send that. Why won't they just give up Alien, man? My God.
It won't stop.
It's not going to work.
Can't stop, won't stop.
You made these Terminator movies. Not going to work.
How did you feel? I mean, you're talking about comics. This is kind of like your episode on comics. How did you feel the first time you saw comics adapted to the big screen, especially like how it has been for the last 15 years, where it's done well?
Well, I mean, it's been, obviously it was done almost to perfection in 2002 with Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Agreed.
Let's not get it twisted. Even though it seems like the youngsters today hate these movies.
They do.
Never mind. Yeah, they're dumb. These kids are dumb.
Who hates?
It's the first time where I've taken the old man get off my long stance. I'm like, no, you're just dumb. Like, those movies are great.
They don't like the original Spider-Man?
I've seen it a lot on Twitter.
It is not popular to like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man anymore, I don't think.
Nope.
God. Is it because he's with the MCU now and they do it right?
Yes.
That way? Is it?
Yep. Absolutely. It's because of the MCU.
Not 100%, because I've also seen people who say that
Twitter doesn't represent the world, right?
No, I know,
Yeah,
but I've seen a lot of people who like Amazing Spider-Man, and like a lot of people who like the Amazing Spider-Man significantly more than either the MCU Spidey or the Sam Raimi Spidey.
There's always fans of everything.
But they're like, they dog down on Sam Raimi because they're like, Amazing Spider-Man was so much better. Blah, blah, blah.
That's wrong.
I've had someone tell me the Sam Raimi movies are so bad it makes their eyes hurt.
What?
Wow.
And I have had somebody tell me that when I was telling them about how Homecoming does not represent Peter Parker to me, they're like, oh, I just assumed that Iron Man's who taught him in the comics.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I want to slap you.
I want to bounce him down some stairs.
MCU's ruining their own character.
Oh my God.
I refuse to mention Uncle Ben.
This episode just became the saddest episode we've ever done. Like, I just cried inside.
But anyway, to answer your question, I love the adaptations of superheroes. I actually the MCU is cool, and I think the DCEU is cool. I like that they make universes. But I do kind of miss when you could just see a superhero movie and just, like when you just went and saw Blade, and it was just Blade.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to worry about the homework that you had to do to enjoy Blade. You know what I mean?
What homework do you have to do for the MCU? I mean, really, their movies are kind of independent.
Well, I think almost everybody did. Everybody searched who was that guy after the credits in Avengers.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You couldn't just enjoy it because everybody had to be the authority on it.
Yeah, so that's a very good point. People, I don't know. It feels like if you don't go see a Marvel movie opening weekend, everyone's just going to ruin it for you because they got to give their hot takes and their fan theories in there. And oh my God, it's the greatest movie Marvel's ever made, which happens every time Marvel makes a movie.
That's true.
Like, kind of, you just go Ghost Rider. It wasn't going to be you didn't know if it was going to be good or bad. But you're going to go see it. Or Daredevil. Ben Affleck's Daredevil. You know?
I like the director's cut.
Me too. I'm with you.
And Blade is better than most of the MCU. Yeah, I said it.
Blade is awesome.
There's no question.
No question.
Someone's always trying to ice skate a pill.
It's better when you use the naughty words.
Yes.
The naughty
words they're important for that line.
Well, we've talked about penis enough. I feel like at this point we're past the point.
Oh, penis came back.
10-15, baby.
Oh, now it's okay to say pen 15 because you're saying it? Man.
No, I was referencing you weirdo.
Oh.
God, keep up with yourself. What else you got? We got anything else to talk about?
Anyway, superhero movies are great, of course. Obviously, CW's DC Shared Universe is the high point.
Wow.
Of all of the superhero fiction.
Wow. Don't they have like 47 shows now or something? I lost track. Yeah.
The Arrowverse is fantastic. Never missed an episode.
That's really sad. You should get out and do more stuff.
Too busy watching all these CW shows.
Oh my God, those suck. What else we got on Smirk?
Oh, this show?
Yeah, this show.
This podcast we're recording for you.
Last question is, do you think is it universal that a story has saved somebody at some point? Because I was just going to ask, hey, has a story ever pulled you out of a dark time? But I feel like that's happened to everyone, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, you're not saying exclusively comic books, right? You just mean story in general?
Yeah, well, now I'm circling back to just stories, like the power of story, I think. I think stories are the greatest thing humanity has ever made, except for the Bible. But
so you buy into the power of a good story?
Of course. Yeah, I mean, why would we do this show if we didn't?
Well, that's true.
That
would be real awkward if you said no.
Good argument. I can't win.
No, but I feel like a lot of times people are like, "Oh, video games are a waste of time. TVs are a waste of time." No one ever says that about movies because they're so 2 hours is not a huge commitment. I don't think. I feel like, and no one says it about books because those are untouchable. But I feel like people, often say like, "Oh, what a waste of time to watch TV." But I mean, you're experiencing a story.
Man,
you are.
I really hate when people say that about any medium because there are so many references, so many specific scenarios where you could say that a movie, a book, a TV show, a song, a game, whatever, has brought people together or made somebody understand a situation that they did not previously understand, or opened a world to them, or created a window into a opportunity for them to explore themselves or to grow as a person. So anytime anyone knocks any medium, I'm just like, well, then you're blind to the world, because you're right. The power of stories isn't exclusive to what you consider a powerful story. Stories are powerful for many different reasons to many different people, and you don't get to determine that. Nobody else gets to say what is more powerful. You might like a really horrible In the Name of the King might be a movie that really speaks to you on some spiritual level and made you have a deeper understanding of yourself for some reason, and you changed something in your life for the better. I think the movie's awful, but I can't take away from that experience because that's your experience, and that happens to everybody in some form.
Stories allow you to connect with something that you can resonate with, something that helps you, a lot of times helps you understand your own situation that you're in, helps you learn what a good method to get out of this is, or at least just gives you hope that things might get a little bit better, or sometimes it's just for you to live vicariously through when you're having a really bad day and you're like, man, it'd be cool to experience this. Like right now, I'm gonna take out any bad vibes from my day by I don't know, investing myself in this property, in this story, whether it be a video game or a movie or a book. It is escapism. Like, it's a way for us to kind of avoid our own problems, but at the same time, it teaches us about our problems and about life.
It's not always escapism, though. I would say sometimes it is very much of you want to learn more about a subject or a topic, and you don't want to learn about it on Twitter.
Well, and that's how why documentaries
Not even
exist.
documentary. It can be a fiction. It can be a film based on true events. It can be a book inspired by true events. It can be a comic book centered around events that make you open your eyes to. I mean, X-Men. X-Men is very people love X-Men's cool. Sure, yeah, and it's also a lot about societal tropes and racism and gender issues and a lot of other things that they were trying to represent in comics, and that really appealed to a lot of people, and a lot of people that were struggling with their own identity in many ways. They saw themselves represented in a comic book, so that opened their world up. You know what I mean? Those things are important. You never get to tell anyone else what their story is and what's powerful for them.
Well put. But I mean, I already went off on stories and how wonderful they are. So they're the greatest invention of humankind.
And you know what makes a story great? Every story. You know what makes every story great? A penis. Brought it all right.
Story.
Brought it all back around.
History. You know what I'm saying?
You see what I'm saying? Well, I mean, things are changing. You can get surgery now, so it could be herstory.
I can't believe this is really happening.
Stories are great. Comic books are great. So.
Peace. What is the
dope?
What is the name of your story?
Well, first I'm going to ask you if it's truth or fiction, but before we get to that, quick bonus question. Aaron, who's your favorite superhero?
Spider-Man.
Amanda, who's your favorite superhero?
Oh, this isn't a quick question.
It should be.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I like different superheroes for different reasons.
Who's your favorite?
God. This is like when a parent says, "I don't have a favorite child." Yeah, you do.
What is
everybody does?
What's your pick one?
I can't.
Okay, she doesn't have a favorite. She hates superheroes.
No, I don't hate them. I like too many.
It's not Batman. Don't you cuddle up to a Batman teddy bear every night?
I do.
Well, then say Batman.
But I don't know if he's my favorite. Like, I love Batman.
Let's take a second. Hang on. Let's take a second. What is your problem with not being able to select one thing?
Because
I don't want to neglect another one.
She doesn't want to make the other superheroes feel bad.
Exactly.
An opinion.
She doesn't want to make Superman feel bad.
An opinion means
Superman's not in the top 5.
You have an opinion, which means if somebody says pick your one favorite, you have to pick one favorite.
I can't even, I have separate best friends. Like, I have a best friend that is like my
Impossible.
long-term
Oh, you're going to get me upset on this
But then
one.
I have
There is no such thing as more than one best friend. Best means best. There isn't bestest. Yes. It's best.
I agree. I agree with you on that one.
Drives me crazy.
It's a woman thing.
You get to have one best friend.
No, it's a woman.
It doesn't make that's not an excuse. That's a cop out. It's not. It's bad English.
You know what? Yeah, that's in 2019. I'm ashamed you would say that.
Okay, I can give you my favorite as like a male and then as a female.
No.
Great. No.
Wait, Zach said great until he heard you say no. So let him just.
That's not a favorite. That's once again. That's two favorites. So do I get to pick a female too?
Sure, go ahead.
Wonder Woman.
Is it because she's cute?
Yeah.
Okay, Zach.
Yeah. Wait, no. No, you didn't. What you have to give your favorite superheroes.
Okay, so my first for male would be Batman. There's some runner-ups though. There's some runners.
We don't care.
We're not doing honorable mentions. Not on Smirk. That's your other show.
And then for female, it's actually going to be Scarlet Witch.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, she's pretty great.
Okay. She is great.
All right.
I love that she's.
We don't need a dissertation.
What?
What's yours?
Why can you guys talk, but I can't?
He said quick. I said mine and moved on.
Yeah, but you guys have talked about your favorite superheroes before.
Have we?
Yeah, we have a whole episode dedicated to it. You don't remember that?
Do you remember when I wrote a Spider-Man story?
Yeah.
It's funny because my favorite superhero is Green Lantern.
What?
So
yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, it's not. I just don't ever get a chance to talk about him. So.
Well, can you explain to me why?
If you remember a tremendous podcast called "Remake This Movie Right," we remade Green Lantern right.
I didn't listen to that episode.
Ooh,
and talked about all the comics. I have so many comics of Green Lantern.
Why is that your favorite, though?
More importantly,
like Hal Jordan.
Respect for picking one favorite. Good job.
Whatever.
Thank you. Oh, am I supposed to pick a woman?
Yeah, you are.
No, that's Green Lantern too.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. Kitty Pryde, maybe. I like Kitty quite a bit. It is like it's hard not to say Wonder Woman.
Just because she's pretty, gorgeous,
No,
beautiful.
That whole statement made me giggle inside like an 11-year-old.
I have a weird soft spot for Supergirl. And they're watching a TV show, but I like her in the comics because she has the powers of Superman, but she actually gets mad, which I like a lot.
Like a feisty comic book girl.
Well, I like that she's willing to, because she's the most powerful like being, right, in our universe. Or
Not in the CW, she's not.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen that show. But she has like this rage in her. Like she's upset about Krypton being destroyed and carries that anger with her because she was an adult. And I don't know. So maybe Supergirl, honestly, I don't know. It's tough. Supergirl is like, I buy her comics. So
Interesting. You have interesting choices. I never would have expected Supergirl to be picked.
Yeah, I mean, also shout out to Kitty Pryde.
To what?
Oh boy,
Kitty Pryde. No, she was my first one, but yeah, Supergirl probably. Hey, do you guys think my story is truth or fiction?
Autobiography.
Ditto.
Hilarious, it's fiction. So.
Oh.
He did tell us that it wasn't at the beginning.
Is it triction? Is it triction? Could it be triction? It feels a little triction-ish.
I thought we were doing triction anymore.
What do you mean we? Because there is no we in this. I've always been pro triction.
Well, if it was up to you, every story would be triction.
Every story is actually kind of triction.
And that's why we don't do it, because you can't pick a side.
just like your superhero.
I do. There's levels, guys.
What is the title of your story?
Cyan, magenta, yellow, and black.
Wait, what?
Sand, magenta, yellow.
Cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Is the color cyan or is it cayenne?
It's your story.
No, I mean like the color, the blue, like the offset blue.
I don't know. Cayenne pepper is what I'm thinking of.
It's red, yeah. I think it's cyan. But anyway, it's the four
cyan.
colors that you could originally, print cheaply to make comic books.
Oh,
yep.
Look at that. It's like a fun fact in the title.
It's the printer colors.
4-color, baby.
Very cool story. Well, as our show goes, one more week, we will occasionally pick listener stories to read.
Well, don't say that. They're going to think it's never coming back.
Yeah, season 2.
Sorry, our season 2 finale is next week. That's what I meant. Simmer down. As our show goes, we will occasionally pick listener stories to read and discuss on Smirk. You can still email them. Even during the break, you can email them, and we will have them when we come back. Email them to mystory@smirkpodcast.com, and you can include a moral, questions, however you want to do it. So, and if you send one, we'll be in touch with you, and we'll figure it all out. But you can do that. Take a stab at it, man. Give your story a shot.
Hell yeah. And as you write your own life story, always remember to tell it with a smirk.
Join the conversation by joining our Facebook group. Follow us on Twitter at Smirk Podcast, and be sure to use the show's
Sorry, what was that?
Smirk. And don't miss an episode. Be sure to subscribe. Sure. Just subscribe. Subscribe on your app. Review us. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. It's fine. How's that?
Yeah.